What's up, everybody? Welcome to the second video of the day. And today we're going to be looking at this. You may have seen this story from the other day when Prime Minister Boris Johnson went to a meeting in Luxemburg and met with Xavier Bettel, their Prime Minister. Now, what we're going to look at here is we're going to look at some of the criticism that Bettel has taken for this, but also consider the question, was Boris humiliated by this? Well, let's have a look. So, according to Sky News, Luxembourg's PM stunt is a reminder why the UK wants Brexit, says US Ambassador. So, Boris Johnson, the US Ambassador to the UK, reportedly said that the British didn't need a lecture on how to run their country. Boris Johnson's treatment at the hands of Luxembourg's Prime Minister is a reminder of why the UK wants to leave the European Union. Donald Trump's ambassador in London is reported to have said. Now, Boris Johnson said that having built the greatest empire and held off the, let's just say, bad German people from World War II, I think, and you know who I'm talking about, the British didn't need a lecture from anybody on how to run their country, and that included Brussels, according to the Daily Telegraph. He added, "We stand with the people of the UK, and we always will." The ambassador's reported comments came after Luxembourg's PM Xavier Bettel was accused of disrespecting Britain. So yes, okay. Speaking at the Carlton Club in London, the US ambassador praised Mr Johnson's handling of the situation, insisting that he knew he was walking into a trap. "I thought the people in Luxembourg accomplished something that maybe even Boris couldn't accomplish, showing this is not where the British want to be, over there, when they treat us like that. Your Prime Minister." So a little bit of a stilted sentence there, but it does raise interesting questions. So, was Boris humiliated by this? And did this actually help Brits to make up their minds as to where they stand on this? So consider this. If you looked at this and thought Boris Johnson deserved this, then you're probably on the Remain side. If you looked at this and saw this is contemptuous of a Prime Minister and by the EU against a democratic vote, well then you're probably a Remainer. So has all of this situation actually polarised people more or helped people make up their minds? What do you think about that? Anyway, continuing on, the ambassador was addressing a Conservative Foreign and Commonwealth Council lunch at the Private Members Club, and is reported to have said that while some had cast doubt on the British people's decision to leave the EU, the US administration believes it is the start of a golden era for the UK. The people who built the greatest empire, the people who held off the, we'll not say it again, the bad German people from World War II, who contributed so much to the progress of mankind. You can go down a long list. They don't need a lecture from anybody on how to run their country, and that includes Brussels. Now, Mr Bettel's empty chairing of Mr Johnson was criticised by Norbert Röttgen, an ally of German Chancellor Angela Merkel and chairman of the German Foreign Affairs Committee. He wrote on Twitter, "Xavier Bettel's speech yesterday did not serve the European cause. His public venting ignored that a deal is still in everyone's interest. Even without a deal, there would be a post-Brexit life, which means that right now everyone needs to behave in a way that avoids animosity." Absolutely. There is still a chance of a deal here. We've not got to forget that. Okay, as well as that, Sir Nicholas Soames, who is an ardent Remainer, and one of the MPs that was deplatformed by the Tories recently, he labelled Mr Bettel's actions as very poor behaviour and branded him a show-off, which was unhelpful grandstanding. Nigel Evans, Joint Secretary of the Backbench 1922 Committee, said Mr Bettel's snub was another reason why the British people voted the way they did. Okay, and Ian Duncan Smith is leading the Brexiteers in their criticism of the leader of Luxembourg, who has been described as rude. He said world leaders had a duty to show courtesy and civility, and highlighted Allied forces liberated Luxembourg from German occupation during the Second World War. He said, "The irony is that Luxembourg was saved by Britain. National leaders should always treat one another with courtesy and civility. Good ones do." Well, it is being talked about that Beto is known to be quite easygoing and slow to anger. But in this meeting he had, or in this press conference he held alone, that anger was barely conceived, and that's exactly what we saw. So does this show or suggest that the EU, after all this time, just want the UK to go? They just want us to leave. Well, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share and subscribe if you appreciate what we do.